Hey everyone, happy hump day, happy therapy day, and happy day from Mr. Mom. Oh my God, it's been such a crazy time. I have Mr. Mom brain today because I've been up since 4 a.m. with baby girl. So I think you all will appreciate me being maybe a little bit off, but I hope not. I hope I'll be able to concentrate on this very important subject. So, that being said, thanks to all my regulars for showing up to the live on Wednesday. Thanks to the new subscribers for coming to check out the channel. I just want to let you know that we created an awesome community here. I love the people who show up. I just really value this time. I feel like it is therapy on some level, and this time with all of you, because I think the discussions, if you're new, I think you're going to love the discussions, and I think you're going to love how we really bring a nuanced ability to have the conversations that they don't want you to have over there, and I actually encourage these conversations. So with that, I also want to let you know that I do shout outs, okay, to everyone in the beginning of the show, from where you're from. So if you put where you're from, I'll shout it out, and then we'll move forward to this very, very important conversation today. I have a lot to say about it, and I think you all have a lot to say as well. So with that, let me see who I see first, and whoever I see first, that's where we're going to start. So we got Netherlands in the house. We got Southern Utah in the house. What you're going to see, we have so many amazing places: Oklahoma, San Antonio, Massachusetts, Scotland. If I missed you, say it again, okay? Illinois, Wales. I love you, Buck. Thank you. Texas. I don't know how to say that city where you're from. Halifax, Miami, Bulgaria's in the house. Vancouver, Canada's in the house. Wisconsin, SoCal, Montreal, Ontario, Pennsylvania, Australia. We got another Pennsylvania. We got Birmingham, Alabama, Illinois, North Carolina, Virginia, Oregon. I told you guys, it's crazy. Glenburn, Maine. Yes. Hawaii, Asheville, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Chilliwack, BC, Milwaukee. You guys are amazing. And you're going to see, we just really have garnered a huge worldwide audience here. And it's just incredible to me. So Colorado, Palm Beach, Massachusetts. Am I saying that right? Seattle, South London, BC, West Yorkshire, Nova Scotia, Kansas, Missouri, España, right on, Netherlands, but you're in Italy, okay? Reno, Montana, we got Simi Valley, Georgia, Poland's in the house, Idaho's in the house where my sister lives. We got Pennsylvania, Chesia, is that Chesnia? Nevada, we got Buck Angel is worldwide. We got, well, what we do, you guys, it's our community. Just so you know, it's our community. It's not mine. Okay. Sierra Foothills, California, right on. Massachusetts, Ottawa, Idaho, Berlin, Belfair. And so let that, if you just say it and I see it, I'll just shout you out. So for now we're just going to move forward into the show because it can go on forever because we got so many of you. Okay. Southern Illinois, North New Jersey. Thank you for being here, UK, Czech Republic, FTM, and San Diego. Thanks for being here, FTM. Okay, so an FTM means female to male transsexual, which is what I am. So Columbia, South Carolina. So with that, I'm going to start the show now. Today I have something very important for me to talk about to you because one of the things that I notice in my platform is that the videos that do the best, and I'm not here to sort of be a huge YouTuber. That's really not. I don't aspire to be that, just so you know. Because if I did, I would have stayed in the transgender community, and I would have been the transgender hero, and I would have been this guy that all the young people look up to. But I'm not that guy. Okay, I'm the guy who's been ostracized from that community because I felt in order for me to move forward in my own life and my own morals and integrity, I needed to speak out about what's going on. So the videos that I notice that get the most views and the most engagements are when I talk about these topics and what we're going to talk about today, or when I talk about and show, and I do laugh, 100% I laugh at some of these people because they're actually bonkers and they're just making fools out of themselves. And when you put that on the internet, you're opening yourself up to that. And so It's not something, well, I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually enjoy making fun of them. I actually do. I don't want to be, I don't want to be lying to you. I do. I actually enjoy making fun of them because it's kind of funny how ridiculous and stupid and just gross some of them are. But the ones that get the most engagement are the ones I make fun of people. Oh, thanks for gifting the membership. That's so cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Here, I'm going to just move this second screen over here so I can see a little bit better. Okay. So and the other ones that get a really great engagement are when I do stuff that you all know is happening, yet you as non-trans people, sorry for having to adjust this. You as non-trans people are not allowed to say it, or you will be called transphobic, a bigot, a Nazi, whatever, a homo. I don't even know what today, whatever they're calling you all. They call me the same, a TERF. Very much immature name calling bullshit that I just think is unbelievably idiotic and embarrassing on so many levels. It just shows you the immaturity of not only the trans community, but the left-wing craziness that is coming out. That they're not liberal, they're not democratic per se. It's very extremist left-wing ideological space. You can't lump all liberal and all Democrats into that, because I was part of that space, and I still consider myself on some level a liberal-minded person. But like I say to you every week, I have also garnered a much more conservative space in my age and being a parent and all of those things. Okay, so that is why I feel it is important for me to have these conversations with you. Okay, to you, as most of the people here today probably aren't even transgender, and I have garnered a large population of people who are not in the LGBT community, right? You're center, right, center, left, or there you go. They're 100% right. But that being said, the majority of the people who subscribe to my channel, who come to see me, who want to have conversation with me are just like me. We're very centrist type people. But a lot of you are not even, thank you so much for being a member for 6 months. Really, you guys help the channel a lot, okay? So yeah, thanks for also participating in the Discord. Before I move on, I have to just say something real quick here, okay? So please join the Discord. Lisa is the moderator, and she'll be posting the links to all that. But I want to say this real quick here. There was somebody who people make the most insane judgments or say lies about me to derail me and think I'm not going to continue to do this. You can't derail me. You can lie about me all you want. I'm not going to play the game. I'm 63. I'm very mature, and I have focus on this. But somebody was making a comment that I have children in my Discord. That is not true. I have Lisa, who is the moderator of my Discord channel, who will never allow minors on my Discord channel. Okay, I don't talk to minors. I only ever have talked to minors with their parents present. I get a lot of parents reaching out to me, Buck, my kid, blah blah blah. Sure, my service to myself and to a space is to give back to parents who need to talk to a real transsexual person, and I do it all the time. Okay, all the time I talk to parents with their minor children present with the parent. So I want to make this very clear. I do not talk to children without adults in the room, specifically their parents. No child is allowed on my Discord channel, and if somehow they sneak in, we will find out and you will be booted out. It is an adult-only space, as this is. I mean, sometimes there's going to be 16-year-old trans kids that come on this channel. There's no doubt about it. I can't stop them from coming on. It's not possible. I don't necessarily want to talk to you if you're a young person. I can have people send you a lot of resources if you're thinking about detransitioning or thinking about these things. I'm here for you in that manner, okay? But I am an adult, and I will not speak to children without parents involved in that. And it's not my place to talk to young people. I don't feel comfortable. I've never felt comfortable. And so I just want to put that there for everyone in the world to see, okay? So also Discord says you have to be minimum age 13. Right, so I don't want 13-year-olds. That's the age of my son. I do not want 13-year-olds around me unless they're coming over for a play party with their parents, okay? So I just wanted to say that real quick. So I want to get back to this because this is a very important subject for me in a sense that my engagement gets really high when I start to talk about detransitioners. And I'm going to ask you this here. Why do you think my engagement gets so high when I discuss what we're going to discuss today? Why do you think that? I need to have a drink of water, so I wanted to pose that question to you. Have this. Why do you think that is? And as this cycles through, I will tell you that um, the reason I think it is because you're not allowed to talk about it. You're not allowed to have a conversation about it. You're not allowed to talk about detransitioners. Detransitioners are ostracized from the community. Rusty says because it makes people argue an argument, feeding the maybe, but that's not why I do it. Just so you know, it's not why I do it. Okay, but I can see that because the mainstream media refuses to talk about it. Right? It's probably because you're speaking the truth. Thank you. Bingo. I think all of the above. And I do think mainstream doesn't want to get into it because they'll lose viewership. And also the trans community will come after you and call you all kinds of names. But do you realize the position I'm in here? Do you realize the great position I'm in here? Do you realize that? I think you all do. I'm in a position to say what needs to be said. And they can't say anything to me about it. They can call me transphobic, they can call me, but they look ridiculous for saying that to me. I'm over 33 years at this point, transitioned female to live looking like a male. You can't say anything to me. I have a very, very, very important position. And there's no way that I'm going to waste it lying. And there's no way I'm going to waste it letting children do what's happening to them without me using and I'm not going to use the word privilege, but using the space that I have built in this world to walk the world happy, focused, successful, because transition exists. People like me exist, people. I think you all know that. You would not be here if you were transphobic. People like me exist. It's always been very small. It will always be very small. But when somebody like me starts to see young people be pushed into a space they should never be pushed into, children are being pushed. And I want you to know that I'm seeing it from an elder's point of view. It is so sad for me to watch these young people. I grew up as a tomboy. I did not grow up as a trans kid, contrary to what the trans community will tell you. Anybody like me was a trans kid. That's not true. And that's the other thing I effing hate so much about the trans activism. They start to tell you your own story. Yet if you tell them something, the hypocrisy is mind-blowing. But if they start to tell you your own story and you're like, hold on, wait a minute here. That's not my story. I was 100% a tomboy. I was a very masculine girl. I grew up very masculine. I always wanted to be called the boy name. I played with all the boy toys. I have a younger sister and an older sister. I'm the middle child. Thank God I didn't grow up in the trans world. They called me the boy name. I was considered a tomboy. I fought with boys at school. I've told you these stories a million times, right? So it doesn't make me trans. It never made me trans. I was not trans. I was literally a young girl who was masculine, butch, loved it, did not have a bad childhood. No, I did not. No, I did not. Do not let people gaslight you on my own story. I'm telling you today, I had an awesome childhood. My parents did the best they could with a masculine girl child. So they just... Now, that being said, I'm not telling you that I didn't struggle with these spaces. I felt the most comfortable wearing boy clothes. Always, when I got to wear the boy clothes, I would call them the boy clothes and the girl clothes. But when I had to wear the dress, and I think I told you guys this last week when I was talking about faith, that I had to put a dress on to go to church, or I had to put a dress on to go to family functions. These things made me feel uncomfortable. Did that make me trans? No. It made that I felt more comfortable wearing boy clothes. This is the gender stereotypes that they're mixing up with trans. Do you see the gaslighting there? It's the gender stereotypes that are the problem, not gender dysphoria, which exists. There is no doubt. Yeah, that's right. We all hate dresses. And y'all hated church dresses. That's what I'm saying. I can relate so much to all the women, even the men out there who might be having more feminine thoughts. I can't relate to that, but I can understand it. Or feminine feelings. Or maybe as a boy, you wanted to wear pink and everyone laughed at you because they thought it was girly, right? Those are the gender stereotypes that they are literally trying to confuse your brain to say, this is trans. It is not trans. Trans is not an identity choice. They made it an identity choice so that they could start to create this false narrative and this way to create a new way of being, so that somehow, in my opinion, it has to do with money, and it also has to do with sick adults who are using children to validate their own dysphoria and their own fetishes. Because a lot of fetishes got mixed up into the transgender space. And I could go on and on about that, and that'll be in my book because I have a lot of history around all of that, and I've seen it. But I want to go back to me as a tomboy. 100% a tomboy. All the way through high school, ran track, was a soccer player, was a hardcore sports. I was sought after by everybody because I was that good, like, girl soccer player and that good girl track runner. And I was having feelings. I have said this to you for so many times, but I know I have a lot of new subscribers and I really want you to hear what I'm about to say. This is my story, though. It doesn't necessarily relate to everybody, okay? I started becoming attracted to girls. I remember even when I was younger, when I was a young kid, I just felt this more attraction to being around girls as a boy. I wanted to be the boy, they were the girl. When we played house, I was the husband, they were the wife. I had the G.I. Joe, they had the Barbie. I always wanted to emulate the man. Okay, it didn't make me trans. No way. A lot of good girls wanted to do that. That's when everything started to move into my sexuality. And as I started to get older, right, and go through like the beginning of high school was when I really started to notice my desires emotionally to be attracted to girls. I was not attracted to boys ever. I wanted to be like that boy. Wasn't trans. I just felt like, remember, gender stereotypes. So when you got to be a boy, you got to have all these kinds of things. When you were a girl, I didn't relate to the girls. I related to the boys. Doesn't make me trans. Nope. I really believe I was struggling with my sexuality. Do you guys remember how old I am? You remember how I'm 63. So I'm talking about like in the 70s, okay? We didn't talk about homosexuality, not let alone for girls, right? What about boys? We didn't talk about that. It was bad. Homosexuality was a sin and bad and everything that, you know what I mean? You can't talk about. I grew up in that era, okay? So I was I was a sports girl. I was every stereotype of a lesbian girl you can imagine, right? I was the butch. I was attracted to girls. I was shy. I was excellent sports person. I was that sports girl in the 70s, attracted to the girls. And I excelled so much that I got on a team that was really high-ranking sort of sports team that all that's gonna be in my book. But really, they were sort of pushing me towards the Olympics during that time because I was becoming so high-ranked. But anyway, that's over there. What I'm trying to tell you is, as I started to get around all these other girls, and it was in a sports space, sexual things start to come up. We're 16 and 17 years old. Stuff is coming up for us. And then I'll never forget this. My coach, I had a private coach at the time, and my coach said to me, obviously he knew because he said this to me. He said, if you ever become a lesbian, I will never coach you again. He actually said that to me. And I'm like, isn't that obvious? It's so obvious. I don't know if you've all seen the movie Personal Best, but if you haven't seen the movie Personal Best, go watch it, because that movie is really about the team I was on, and I'm an extra in the background of that movie. It's like Mariel Hemingway. It's an excellent film. Just go watch it. So I remember after that filming that we got to go see because we were all extras in the movie, he said to me, if you ever become a lesbian, I will never coach you again. And I'm just thinking, wow, that's the shit I dealt with. Didn't deal with trans. No one said I was trans. I didn't feel trans. Trans isn't a feeling, by the way. All of that stuff. So moving forward, I really believe as a young person and as a tomboy and as a butch girl coming into my own being, I was very sexually attracted to other women. And I was dealing with I wasn't dealing with my gender dysphoria. My gender dysphoria didn't come up until later. My gender dysphoria came up in my mid 20s. And in my mid 20s is when I was in the lesbian scene. This is in the mid 80s. Oh my God, you guys. I mean, I just can't wait to just like picture all this for you in the book because it was just amazing. And I was, I was this like butch that all the girls, like, it was where I really experienced dating girls and girls being attracted to me. And I was like a stud and I was really but I was an asshole, to be honest with you. But anyway, I just experienced all this sexual space and it was so amazing. Something I just can tell you that if I didn't experience that as the person I am today, I don't think that I would feel as grounded as I do about myself. I don't think I would in any way, shape, or form. I think that those experiences were extremely important for my growth as a human, for my growth in my own sexuality, for my growth in my transition, for my growth in how to walk the world. Seriously. It's really important that this is why I want to have this conversation with you. As somebody who's experienced a lot in their life and transitioned over 30 years ago, and I see what's happening to these young girls today, it scares me because I don't think these girls are being offered what is going to make them feel better. They're being offered a fake cure. You know, does that make sense? They're being offered a fake cure. There's no cure to gender dysphoria. My gender dysphoria is not cured. It's not. It's still there. I think I've spoken to you about it a lot. Okay, so I just want to go here for 1 second. Somebody said something that caught my eye. And I'm something about being a tomboy. So right. Most of you are understanding. Riley, what's going on, friend? Okay, Lisa, can you just tell Riley to please leave because they're just really. Oh my God. Here's what's so great about having a newborn baby. Here's what's great. You learn how to have patience. Wait. Oh, I wanted to show you something. Patience is something I really learned a lot about with this new baby girl. Because when they start to scream and start going nuts, you can easily just go a little bit off the side. And I've just learned how to breathe and be like, okay, you're hungry, or you pooped your pants, or you got gas, or maybe you just need to be walking around, right? It's so amazing how remember how I kind of would go off on people like that before, but I've learned to just be like, okay, I'm just going to take a nice deep breath right now and let this cycle through for a minute and then figure out like, okay, why is this person trying to derail the conversation? Why does this person need attention? And then I come back to the transgender community. I think a lot of people in the transgender community need attention. They need attention. And this is the same behavior, this really immature, ridiculous behavior that people throw out from the transgender community. I need attention. Look at me. You're a bigot. You're a Nazi. You're a bootlicker. You're a TERF. Look at me. Look at me. That's the energy that's coming from that space. And it's, distraction. Why do you think they need so much attention? In my opinion, it's because they're not being true to themselves and they know it. And once the attention is gone from them, guess what's going to happen? They're all going to not be trans anymore. Okay? It's so interesting to me how we play into these people's narcissistic. I do too. I make fun of them on the internet. I give them a platform. But a bootlicker, what's a bootlicker? A bootlicker is somebody who's basically bowing down to the other side. So I get called a bootlicker, meaning that I'm bowing down to the right or to the conservatives when I should not be doing that. Oh God, you guys, I could talk for hours about all this, but I don't want to lose sight of what I really wanted today's show to be about. And so I showed you, so I was talking to you about my own space, my own going through life, being a young girl, and always have been that young girl. I was not a trans person. I deal with my sexuality. I get into maybe high school. I'm really struggling with sexuality. Then I get to out of high school and I'm really struggling. I don't know what I was struggling with because there was nobody being able to help me. I remember I had a therapist who told me, you're just a very male identified female. And I took an insult to that. But looking back, she was right. I was just a very male-identified female. That's what I was. But I got really mad at her for saying that because I didn't even remember. This is in the 80s. And she's like, you're a gay woman. You have to try to figure out what that means for you. But I started saying, I feel like a man. And it just like, what? She's like, what do you mean you feel like a man? I don't really even know. Go ahead and try to answer that. I don't know what that means to feel like today. I don't even know. I don't feel like a man, okay? I look like a man. I want to walk the world where people see me as a man, but I actually don't think I feel like a man. I don't even think I feel like a woman, because what does that even mean, right? You either are or you're not. So I am a female. There is just, come on, man. Let's just lay the cards out on the table, people. I'm a female who wants to look like a man, and I do, and we all agree with it, and we can move forward from that. That's how easy it is to walk the world as a transsexual. You don't force bullshit on people. You don't lie about it. You say, I feel more comfortable this way. Like I said to Charlie Kirk, dude, I feel more comfortable in my costume. Charlie Kirk is like, right on, dude. You know what I'm saying? When you have these conversations in real time and in reality-based space, people don't care that you're transsexual. They don't care. I prove it every day. What people care about is when you lie. There's no feeling trans. Okay, just so you know, there's no feeling trans. Trans is not a feeling. Trans is not euphoria. Trans is none of those things. Trans is a mental disorder because it is not normal for a female to want to be a male. That is not normal. And when you say it's normal, you are lying. Because if it was normal, okay, then you wouldn't have all of these people wanting to all of a sudden take hormones and do all that. It's not normal. The normal way of being is to be born female and grow up to live female and be a woman and move forward. That's normal. I'm not normal. Doesn't make me bad, doesn't make it ugly, doesn't make it mean, doesn't make it anything other than that. It's just not normal. I don't care that I'm not normal. What I care about is being happy. And I think you all care about me being happy too, because I'm not forcing lies on you. Never have I forced lies on you. Right, just another human experience, but based in reality. So then you have these wingnuts come along who are like, trans is euphoric, trans joy, trans is an identity. Anyone could be trans. Don't tell a kid they're not trans. We can give drugs to 10-year-olds. This stuff is reversible. Okay, now I'm pissed. Now I'm pissed because you're lying about what being a transsexual is. And so cycling through, because I wanted to start with that, because I wanted to cycle through. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Fun fact, it's interesting how many female fighter pilots are lesbian. The lesbian fighter pilots are different than straight ones, of course, and are typically more proficient. That's right. There is something in there. No, I will have to probably agree with you, because in my opinion, Michelle, thank you for this. In my opinion, it's because you have to work harder as a butch woman. You have to work harder. The world is, society isn't okay with butch women or feminine men. They're not. Let's just be real here, everybody. They're not. You might be okay with it, but yeah, you can ask me a question. Yeah, you can. Let's be real here, you guys. People are not okay with masculine women or feminine men. And I do think that a lot of the reason why a lot of girls are transitioning is because they're not comfortable in their bodies. I wasn't comfortable in my body when I started growing breasts. My mother told me this is what I used to do when I was a kid. I used to hit my breasts because I didn't want them to grow like my sisters. So is that a form of dysphoria, or is it body dysphoria? Is it gender dysphoria? Or the reason they need to be more aggressive, though, is because the world pushes on them, by the way. More masculine or lesbian women have to be more aggressive, because I lived in that space. You have to be. People don't like you. Do you know that I got my ass beat many times by dudes who did not like me? Okay? They beat the shit out of me because I was a masculine. They're like, you want to be a dude? You want to be a dude? Smashing me in the face. Like, it was crazy what guys would say to me as a masculine woman. They don't like it. They felt threatened or something. But it's the reason why I think a lot of butch women or masculine women have to be a little bit more aggressive than a straight woman, right? So I want to show you something. I mean, I could talk to you guys about my childhood, about growing up, about being a masculine woman in life, and then, you know, just finding a space where I got a therapist who really dug down deep with me. You know, and I've always been honest to all of you about my transition. It worked for me. I feel happy, but my gender dysphoria isn't gone. I still have gender dysphoria. That's the false bullshit lie they're feeding these young people. And I did it at 30. So if I fucked up, it's my problem. It's not yours. I didn't fuck up. I feel fine. But what, do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, thanks for you understand what I'm saying? At 30, you got to take your own responsibility. At 10 and at 15, whose responsibility is it that these young kids transitioned? Whose fucking responsibility is that? It's the fucking adults, people. Excuse my language. And if you don't agree with me, I'd like to know what you think, whose fault it is. You think a 15-year-old, parents, that's the adults, parents. If you think it's these young people's fault for doing this, then you really got to sit with yourself, because it's not true. It is not these young people's fault. And it's why I'm fucking pissed off about all of this, because where are the adults? How are you just letting kids make these fucked up decisions? It's insane to me that you would let a child make this, what I'm going to show you right now. Okay? So now we're going to move into... Yeah, Marcus Dibbs is a great friend of mine. I'll have him on the show again soon. Well, social media, of course, but that being said, the adults are pushing adults built the social media channels. I get blocked on all of the TikTok shit when I start having these actual conversations with the young kids. I get blocked on TikTok. I get totally taken down. So they're hiding this information from the kids, okay? Luckily, YouTube, I mean, every once in a while, YouTube will demonetize a video, whatever. People report it. Like, they'll just, almost every single one of my lives gets reported. And then I have to talk to somebody at YouTube. And then I have to explain the situation. And I have to tell them, and I'm a 33 plus transsexual. And I'm not transphobic. Well, doctors are adults, so whatever the adult does, it's still the adult. So let me just show you something here.
My transition, I believed I was non-binary. I struggled with severe mental illness and suicidal ideation. I had a trauma history. Being a girl meant I was vulnerable. This should have been a red flag. Yet within months of requesting top surgery, it was performed on me.
Wow.
I developed complications after my surgery.
Wow.
There are many times I didn't know if I would make it through the night. Presenting and taking on another gender was a way for me to escape womanhood. Escape is not a valid way of dealing with trauma. I had physical health issues that had been previously overlooked. Had that been managed, I would have never gotten the surgery. Between my carved up body and the physical complications, I often question if there's anything on the other side. The goal of healthcare should always be to get to the root cause of the problem.
Okay. To get to the root cause of the problem. What? They are using transition as the first step. When transitioning was an actual thing back in the day, it was the last resort for an adult who went through many steps to get here. It's why we did not have, if any, very few detransitioners. Very few. Today, there are becoming, not millions, sorry, thousands. There'll be millions. It's insane to me that this is happening. So don't take it from me. I'm just telling you what I see. I'm showing you the actual voices of these. That's a young girl who, what was it, months? She went through months of something and then all of a sudden had top surgery, right? Top surgery has always been relegated to people like me who went through systems. We called it top surgery so that we could have masculinized chests. Do you notice the chests today? They're literally a scar. They're not even a chest. They're just a scar with no nipples. How is that top surgery? Top surgery was created by us transsexual men in order to masculinize our bodies so that we could do what we've always wanted to do, which is to take our shirt off at the beach, at the swimming pool, wherever other dudes are doing it, to look like a dude. Do you think if any of these kids took their shirt off at any space, people aren't going to know that they're transgender or some weird ass shit happened to them?
In the past 4 or 5 months, I have watched as my body has fallen apart in front of me, my joints constantly hurting, my vocal cords aching, watching as parts of me atrophy away before my very eyes. How can you look me in the eyes and tell me that a child can consent to being changed to an experimental medical industry?
I began my transition in California. It was when I was a minor that I was first affirmed to adopt a false identity. But now, I am 26 years old, and I am dealing with genital atrophy, urinary issues, possible sterilization, tremors on half of my body, back pain, memory loss, loss of my eyesight, and many more issues that I may develop as I age. My story is not an outlier, or that of a failed transition, but the realization of the truth of this practice. If you look online, you will see many stories like mine. Looking back, I wish there was proper safeguards to protect me.
For many.
So how come the trans community isn't talking about this? How come I can find not tons, but okay, wait, somebody wrote something here that I want to actually have a real quick discussion about. Netflix series Wayward is about okay, thank you for bringing that up, Sabrina, because I want to say something. I started to watch the show without knowing this. The show takes place in 2002, I think it is. There were no trans men, very few trans men at that time, okay? Secondly, trans man cop, all openly. That's what I'm talking about. This is bullshit. That they're not even writing series that are really actually like specifically about that time. They're throwing bullshit in. It's so obvious that they are trying to indoctrinate people with this trans bullshit, because that's why I stopped watching it. I'm like, no, this isn't true. That person would have been a butch woman. That person in 2002 would have been a butch woman, okay, and been a cop and done all the things that butch women were doing back in. There weren't trans men doing that. They're trying to change history. It upsets me beyond belief. It's such bullshit. They're trying to wipe out butch women. So memory loss can be, I don't know, my memory's always been shitty. That's why I didn't do good in school. But here, let me.
Many of us, transition was not the life-saving treatment we were sold. Some of us are standing on the other side and looking back thinking, what the heck did I do to myself? And why did people just go along with it? Exactly. Some of us are struggling with infertility, some with body image. If you were me and you knew there was a way to prevent something traumatic that happened to you from happening to someone else, wouldn't you advocate for that?
Trans women and trans community saying that estrogen is just for looks. But there's so much more to it, you know, it definitely changes the way you feel, the way you sing. In terms of hormones, there is no studies comparing it to placebo to even get an idea, is it any better than placebo? Usually when you do drug studies, you do compare it to a placebo. But within a year after taking estrogen, I started hating my penis. I got convinced that it was just like, it needs to go, it doesn't belong on my body. I was getting very dysphoric. So I literally went from being okay with my genitals to hating it and wanting it off my body.
I'm still experiencing a wide range of complications to this day from the hormones and blockers. I've been experiencing some joint pains, mainly in my arms, my legs, and my back. I still have issues with my urinary tract. I have to use the restroom pretty frequently, and I didn't even know that this was possible. This is like a pretty huge quality of life issue. I do hate to speak about it, but I'm experiencing dysfunction at the age of 18. That's something that women usually go through.
Wow.
When they're in their 40s to 50s.
Oh my God. How can all of you not be so pissed? How can you not be pissed off to hear these young women's stories and men? How can you not be pissed off about this? It's so devastating to me to watch these are 15-year-old girls, or boys who are taking their genitals off, removing their breasts, taking cross-sex hormones, doing puberty blockers, and all these effing a-holes in the trans community are telling them it's reversible. How is that reversible? Chloe might look like a girl again, but did you hear what she's dealing with? Urinary tract, like incontinence. There's all this pain in her body. A myriad of things that are happening. And it's what? Go F yourself, transgender healthcare. Transgender healthcare equals experimentation. We are paying for experimentation on children. Go ahead and report me. You're not going to shut me up. I know, I probably freaked all you trans weirdo activists who are lurking in the background. Oh, you're probably now reporting this. Go ahead, report it all you want. Report it all you want. Doesn't matter to me. I'm never shutting up. You don't matter to me. What matters to me is reality and truth. What matters to me is getting this to the people who actually need to see it, like actual people who can make the change. Politicians need to see this. People who can make change in legislation. People who can understand that trans medicine is not medicine. It has become an experiment. I've been telling you guys forever. My doctor called me a guinea pig over 30 years ago. Wouldn't you think over 30 years to now I would not be a guinea pig anymore? How is that possible? How is it possible from 30 effing years ago to now it is still an experimental thing? How come during that 30 years they were not trying to figure out people like me? Why is that? It's a true, actual, real question. Because people like me do exist, and it does help. But why were they not putting the time and energy into creating a healthy healthcare system? If they actually believed that this thing is real and it's going to hit hundreds of thousands of people, why wouldn't they not put the money into to understanding it? Bam, Todd. Bam, Todd. Because that's how I can call all you bullshit activists out. If you actually did think this was something that was happening, WPATH, all of GLAAD, human rights, ACLU, up my asshole. I fucking hate that place. You're all bullshit. You're all full of shit. Sorry for my sorry for my words. I apologize. Baby girl's in the other room and your daddy get mad. But, come on, man. That's how I can prove to you this is total bullshit. Because they would have been doing the research if people like me were considered important. We were never considered important. We were always considered outliers, and we were considered a small fraction of medical and adults who are choosing to make this choice. And hey, you're on your own, buddy. That's how it worked. That's how it worked. So you're full of shit. It's not trans healthcare. It's trans experimentation. I'm still an experiment, people. Don't let this fool you. I'm still an experiment. There's a lot of things with my body, okay? that I haven't shared with you all, but I will in my book. Okay, but I choose, and I am nowhere, because I don't want you to think I'm a victim. I don't need for you to, this is sort of my personal space, and I don't need for you to feel sorry for me. I made this choice, and I'm happy as an MFer. I'm happy. My life is awesome, but I have health problems that I'm taking on. Doesn't make it any better or any worse. It's just the reality of the situation that we're not being honest to the young people, because I've been talking about vaginal atrophy for over 20 years at this point. The community calls me a liar. Do you know that? The transgender FTM and even doctors, the doctor that did Jazz Jennings' genitals literally called me a liar, that I never had vaginal atrophy and that my uterus and my cervix did not fuse together. Literally I have pictures of it in a what do you call it? X-ray. I have X-rays of the whole situation. I have doctors in Mexico who will vow for the whole thing. What are you talking about? She called me a liar, that I'm lying about it. It's the reason why I almost actually died, because my uterus and my cervix fused together, whatever you want to call it. That's what the doctors called it, which in turn created a actual, in my uterus, it created a actual infection, like a petri dish. And it just grew and grew, and I was having cramps and all this stuff, and then it popped. It popped one day, and I became septic. Why would I lie about that? Why would I lie about that? It's in my documentary. It's so upsetting when actual medical doctors who are actually transsexuals, right, are saying I'm lying. And then that causes the rest of the trans community to think, why would I lie? But it doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is they're trying to block that information from getting out there. Why would they block that information from getting out there? Because they don't want these young people to be scared to take medication that will wreak havoc on your body. First off, if you don't understand it. Secondly, if you're just willy-nilly ordering it on the internet and going on YouTube and stabbing yourself with testosterone because you learned from Joey, the trans man, on the internet on YouTube, who has 1 million followers, and now you're taking testosterone, and then you get kidney failure and disease. It's happening to a ton of these kids, as if hormones are just water. It's just, it's why they don't want me to say this. It's why they don't want me to say this. And I'm not going to shut up. So I don't really give a fuck what you all think. I really just don't. I care about these young people. So with that, I'm going to bring you up another one.
Hi everybody, so I am confirming that I have never had this bottom surgery. I never went through with it because God saved me before I went and done that surgery. So that just shows you how amazing God is. I want to give the glory and honor and praise to Jesus Christ, because he saved me from a lot of things that I was about to do to myself. I was about to destroy his creation, and God saved me from that, because these people told me that I was going to be a real woman. You cannot change what God created you. Only Jesus can free us from the lies of Satan. So all this gender reconstruction, all this stuff, it's not from God. I know this is going to offend a lot of people, but it's going to also save you from the lies that I was living in too. Just pray that this reaches someone in Jesus' mighty name. I'm not here to be harsh, I'm here to be the truth. But yeah, they paid £30,000 for me to go get the surgery. I never went and actually got the surgery. And I'm saying this out of love.
Remember what I keep telling you all? I see a lot of the detransitioners found faith. They found faith. And faith. So I started to piece it together. Now, I'm not a Christian. I'm actually studying Judaism right now. I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm like religious, but I believe in a higher power. I believe in God, and I believe of Jesus, and I believe all of these things. And it has made me feel like a better person. It's just me. No, I'm not putting that on anybody. But one of the things I have noticed is that what I see in a lot of these detransitioners is they have found faith, primarily Christianity and Jesus Christ. And I find it, and I said this, I think, in some video, they seem so much happier. They seem so much more grounded. They seem so much more alive. And they're not ugly. They're not being mean to trans people in any way, shape, or form. They're saying, I found this and I was saved. And maybe you can find it too. And this is the point I want to make to you all. Within the LGBTQIA poo-poo, they don't want you to find faith. Have you noticed that? They only want you to find their faith. They only want you to go to their church. They only want you to follow their liberal left-wing ideology. The minute you move out from any of that, they get pissed off at you. They call you names. What other organizations do that? What other organizations would be mad at you if you chose to not follow their doctrine? Cult. Bam, 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 bam. You win. You win. I mean, come on, man. Seriously. My question is, hi, Kelly. Why do you think so many regular people like me have been devastated by the passing of someone we never met? Well, I'll tell you, in my opinion, why, Kelly. Because he reached into your heart. You don't have to know somebody to feel sad that they were killed. You don't have to know that person. You just have to feel their message. Okay? You personally, well, I don't know. You might think you personally met Jesus or whatever, but it's the message. It's why I think so many people are connected to Jesus. It's the message of love and acceptance and love thy neighbor and stop judging people and all of these things. It's the message. It's the message Charlie gave you was so profound that we have lost somebody who was giving us some hope. And when you lose people who give you hope, whether you know them or only know them from the internet or from a book, it's devastating because you actually feel a loss. And I think it's very healthy, and I think it's very normal that you feel that way because we did lose somebody very important to us. Thanks for that question. Thank you. So, hi, Angs. I can't pronounce that. Sorry. I'm pissed at the... Yeah, thank you. I'm pissed with you. Thank you for this. I'm pissed with you. And this is another thing right here. Too many parents rely on technology to raise their kids. 100%. Get your kids outside. Get them off the internet. Is totally not okay, everybody. It's not. It's not. Satanism. I think we've all sort of realized Satan is here. I'm laughing because it's scary. Oh, yeah, Ang says roar. Thank you. Oh my God, it's so scary. Satan is... I never believed in Satan before, but I do now.
Figure that out, that you were not born in the wrong body.
It was the surgery.
Another thing, that trope, born in the wrong body. Born in the wrong body. I remember we used to use that 30 years ago. We used to say that. I remember that. And I think if any of us from back in the day could probably take things back, that would be one of the things we would take back.
I realized 4 months after I had that surgery that I made a huge mistake trusting people who were really not, having my best interest in mind. They were self-interested. They just took advantage of people like me, and unfortunately, they continue to do so. I think for the first year or two, I was in a mess. I was like dooming. I was catastrophizing. I was basically saying my life is over. There's no way I'm going to get married. Nobody's going to want me. This is a waste of my time. Wow. After a year or two, after 3 years or so, I had this awakening. It was a direct response to an event that was
It's a biological man.
Awful, very evil. And that person triggered me to change course. And ever since, I've been striving to be a traditional Jewish man. I'm no longer I'm no longer depressed.
See?
I want to live. I want to live every day. I cherish every moment of my life. I cherish my interactions with people. I'm not taking things for granted anymore.
See, that's what I keep telling you. There's another person who found faith, okay? And all of a sudden now they're happier. This is what the LGBT, well, not so much LGB, I'm going to say TQIA pee pee poo poo. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to feel that. They think Christians hate you. They think conservatives hate you. They will do any kind of trope, negative trope, to keep you away from finding that. Because the minute you find something else besides the church of trans, you're now opening up your heart to other ideas and other things. It's why I will always tell you, when someone tells you not to read the book, I read it for you, that's a red flag. When someone tells you not to watch a certain news station or see, that's a red flag. Don't let people tell you what to read and watch and be friends with. That's a huge red flag. Truth exposed. Thank you, Buck. Gen X Les here, right on. How many parents do you think have Munchausen who are pushing trans on their kids? I think a lot. Great question. I think a lot. A lot of them do. I think a lot of these parents have some form of narcissism, and which I think could probably be, in my opinion, this is all my opinion. We don't know, but we will do studies on this in the long run. I think some people feel they want to be a part of a movement, so they do this to their children. I mean, I can use the example of YouTube channels. There's family YouTube channels, and they put their whole family on there. And I'm sure you all know the stories of the ones that went haywire and did crazy shit to their kids. There's some famous stories out there, some good documentaries, right? I can't think of the names right now. If you remember, put it there. I'll put it here so you guys can watch. But these people are crazy, and they start feeding into this. It's the same thing to me on some level, putting your kid in a platform of the world so that you can dote on them, but make money or be part of something, or you're a good parent for transitioning your kids. There's so many levels. It is 100% child abuse, and it's cool to have a trans kid now, which is so barfy on so many levels. It's just barfy that you would do that to your own child. Yeah, that's right. Disagreeing equals hate. Okay, so here, let me I have this other one I wanted to show. This one. This is the one I really wanted to save it for the live. I was going to put it in my video yesterday, but I wanted to save it for the live because I found this one to be fascinating to me. Okay, the Ruby Frankie. That's the one. Ruby Frankie. Tons of docs on it. Go watch it. Complete wingnut. I wouldn't even put it past her to transition some of her kids. Ruby Frankie is a wingnut, okay? So abused their children. Okay, here, listen to this.
Guys, how crazy is this that 4 years ago today, this is what I post on social media. So crazy. Right after I made the worst mistake of my life, getting top surgery. For those of you that are new here, my name is Lex Rennick. My husband and I get the privilege and opportunity of traveling the world, sharing the good news of Jesus, and teaching the body of Christ how to love the misfit community effectively, because him and I were a part of the LGBTQ community. Now we are not. God has redeemed us, transformed us, and renewed our minds. So this is what I used to look like back in the day. And obviously this is what I look like now. I could look better, but I'm taking care of 2 kids right now. Anyway, God has completely renewed our minds. And let me just say, the world sold me this knockoff version of Jesus, told me that if I got surgery, if I, literally like mutilated my body and got all of that, and was on testosterone, that I would be living in freedom. I even said that in the post, that it'll be worth the freedom. It was false freedom. If you are someone that's struggling with your gender, if you're someone that's struggling with your sexuality, and you're going to the point where you're going to go under the knife, because I paid $10,000 cash for my surgery. I was demonic. I was under spiritual warfare. It was evil, and I was being tormented by the enemy. Literally bloodletting, looking in the mirror, being so disgusted with myself, cutting myself, hating my body. I was believing all these lies of the devil, but let me tell you, there's real freedom in Jesus. I didn't know that I was in bondage. I thought Christians that talked about this stuff were like homophobic, but that's not true. They just knew that there was freedom and they wanted me to walk in it. So I'm so sorry to the person that has ever misrepresented who Jesus is to you. This isn't a conversation of hate. It's a conversation of freedom and love. Love that is given only by Jesus. And so I just want to extend the offer of Jesus to you. He's better than any surgery, any preference you have, anything that you could ever do. He is it. He is the way. He is the truth. He is the life. And you will live the fullness of your life when you walk in his way. I'm living proof.
So I love
guys,
her.
how crazy is this?
One second. I love her. I think what she says is so great, and she's allowed to say all that because it's her experience. And I think it's beautiful what she's saying. And really, she's had the experience, right? She had the actual experience of transitioning. She looks like a dude, and somehow she woke up, and now she preaches for Jesus. And I don't have any issues with that in any way, shape, or form. I think on some level she's needed to do this. And she decided that transitioning was the worst thing she ever did. Of course, I have disagreements on some of these things, and I don't think it's black and white. And I don't think that you could say that there's no such thing as a transsexual human adult. And I don't think you can say that gay people don't exist. I don't think, in my opinion, you can full on disagree with me, but it's my opinion. But I do think she's allowed to have that conversation, and she's not coming to it in hate, and she's not pissed off at the world. She found her way, and she wants to share her way with you. It's kind of how I feel. I found my way, and I want to share it with you all, and I want to show you sides of things. And I think it's important to have different opinions, but to also respect each other. I respect her 100%. It doesn't affect my transition or how I feel about being this person. And I think she would probably, hopefully, have the same opinion about me. And I think you can still love Jesus, and I think you can still be a Christian or a Jewish person or, a Buddhist or whatever, and be a gay and lesbian or transsexual. I do think that. And, but again, something you might not believe in as a Christian. I think the sort of moral of that story for me is finding space for everyone to have their own belief system without skirting reality. And it's why whenever I talk to you all, I come to it as a female. Okay, I'm not trying to dupe you or to lie to you. I totally know who and what I am. But I think you see that this has helped me on some level. And I don't promote this. I do not promote this to young people. I don't even promote it to adults. I have a lot of friends who are transsexual, mostly transsexual older women, who it worked out for them too. And I think it's our presence in this conversation is extremely important because you need to see other sides of the story. You can't just keep seeing the hateful, nasty, transgender ideological space. It is very dangerous for a person like me, and also because there are people who definitely struggle with gender dysphoria. The one thing I want to leave you with here today, as you know, I called this trans or tomboy. I think we're doing such a disservice to young women and young men by calling them trans. I think that we are doing such a disservice to humankind when we deny biology. I think we are doing a disservice to people who struggle with body image, with puberty, with changes in your life, when we don't sit people down and have a long conversation about why they feel this way and instead just affirm it in a one session. And I think the one thing I love about this day on Wednesday is that you see me. And then when I get emotional, because in my brain as I talk, I just remember being that young girl. And I remember being a happy young girl. And I remember just wanting to be with the boys. But I never felt pressured into anything. And I just feel so sad when I see all of these young girls being pressured. Every single one of these girls are pressured into transitioning. Transitioning should never be pressured. And the outcome of this hurts my heart. It makes me feel not only sad, not only disgusted, but so confused as to why we would do this. And my tears are not for me. They're not for me. They're for them. They're for those girls who will forever suffer. Forever. Don't think they're just going to be okay one day. And all of this stuff is just going to go away, because it's not. It'll be trauma. We have given these kids trauma they should have never had. We didn't work on whatever traumas they were dealing with because of the need to transition, or the need to want to be trans, or the need to have to get your boobs cut off, or the need to have to take hormones. We didn't deal with their trauma. Instead, we tried to cover their trauma with hormones and surgery. And we will all look back on this, because it will end. There's no doubt in my mind it will end. But it will end in such a nasty way that we cannot forget these young women, because they will be women soon, and they will continue to have long-term effects of what some people decided what was good for them. Instead of telling these kids, you're okay. You're just dealing with what we all dealt with. Puberty, body dysmorphia, whatever you want to call it, wanting to belong. Some of these kids don't have any of that. They just want to belong to a crowd of people. That's all they want. Instead of giving them healthy choices, we've given them disgusting Burger King. Instead of giving them vegetables and a home-cooked meal, we gave them all fucking Burger King. So I know you all feel me. I know you all give a shit about these kids. And I guess together, you and I are going to continue to do these talks, and we're going to continue to get the message out there. And we're going to totally, hopefully help some of these people understand they don't have to take this route. And we as adults owe it to these children. You and I owe it to these children to stand up for them, and to make them feel okay, and to say they're okay, and to give them a big virtual hug and say, don't you worry about it, kiddo. You'll grow up and look back and know, I struggled a little. It's all good. Struggle is okay. What's not okay is what's happening to these young kids today. So with that, thank you guys all so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for that. Thank you for this. Thank you for all the super chats and all that. I do appreciate you guys so much. I got to run to the baby. Oh, I wanted to show you this before I go. So I wear this around my neck now. I've made it to dad. I literally wear this around my neck, because when I have her in my, and I'm like, where's the binky? Where's the binky? Even though I have a whole thing of binkies, right? I'm just like, where's the binky? So I'm like, oh, I know what to do now. I'm going to put it on this, and then I just give it to her, and she's all good. So that being said, I'm all thinking, I'm going to make my own, okay? I'm going to make Mr. Mom Binkies so you can support, if you all have babies, you can support my channel. I want to totally make my own Binky. Not for me, but for your babies, okay? So, I mean, this is like a game changer. In the middle of 4 a.m. in the morning when I'm like, where's the Binky? I'm just like, it's around my neck. So, with that, thank you guys all so much for caring. Thank you guys for joining the channel. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for liking the video and getting it out there. And so with that, I'll see you guys next Wednesday, and look forward to the next video coming out tomorrow. And if you're celebrating Yom Kippur, happy Yom Kippur, and have a great one. And I'll see you guys all on the next one.